Hey guys, this is mollyrulz9999 here doing a triple review today, the triple game reviews actually. Don't worry, I will get on to some movies and stuff soon, in fact 3 movies, just like we're doing 3 games now. So we've got the game triathlon here, and the next one is of course going to be the movie triathlon. Anyway, the games that I will be reviewing today are the 3 completely different games. The first one being SSX Tricky for the PlayStation 2, Hakuna Matata or Afrika for the PlayStation 3, and I will be reviewing the wonderful Portal 2 on PC, which I have here in the background because I didn't buy it in a case. It was downloaded from Steam. So yep, anyway, let's get on with this. SSX Tricky. This one has to be my favourite racing game on the PlayStation 2. It's just so over the top, so insane, and very, in their words, unlikely, you know, in terms of the game style, and it's just a mad game. So you have a bunch of characters, and a bunch of tracks. These are all snowboarding tracks, in case you didn't notice from the snowboard there. And you go snowboarding down all these mountains, and you go and do some absolutely insane jumps and tricks, and it is just a completely bonkers game. It is just, it's so exaggerated, and it's just comical. The colours are vibrant, very light-hearted, in a way of saying light-hearted. And the game, the actual controls themselves, they're a little bit, they take a little bit of time to master, but once you get used to them, you end up just doing things like a ninja. It's just brilliant. I had this game back in 2003 or 2002, and I just bought it again recently because I really missed this game because it is such a fun game. I would recommend this to anyone who is a fan of racing and doesn't want anything realistic for a change. So yes, highly recommend it, and it's really cheap now. I got this one for 10 Australian dollars, so hopefully you might be able to find it for the same price or even cheaper if you look on eBay or at GameStop or whatever shop you have that is nearby. The next one is Hakuna Matata, or Afrika. I'll just call it Afrika. It's a PlayStation 3 exclusive, only ever released in Asia. I don't think it was released in the US, although I think it was, but it didn't really sell well. It says, I've just finished this game about an hour ago, if that, and I feel pretty satisfied with it. I quite like how it's done, but there are a couple of little things which I'll get into in a little bit. So basically you are a photographer in an unresearched part of Africa, and you go around and take some photos of some wildlife and some landscape here and there, and it's basically just to try and help the company that you're working for build up a database of that area and kind of, you know, fully complete its research on the area. The game itself is pretty good. There are a couple of limitations that they put on with the physics of the car that you drive, especially. So if you crash into a tree, it's gonna, it just stops. It's kind of wonky physics, but that's kind of because they don't want you rolling your car over or anything like that. If anything, those limitations are there to help you. But it is a very wonderful looking game. In fact, I'm probably going to edit in a couple of screenshots around me just showing what the game looks like and how wonderful the visuals are in this game. It's a 2008 game, by the way, so it's only 3 years old. But it's still a very nice looking game. I would only recommend it if you have an open mind about games, if you are not one for mainstream games and you want something a little bit different from your FPS or your RPG. I would recommend Afrika if you don't. If you just want to lay back, you know, just kind of chill for a little bit, just explore the wonderful, really open, wide open landscapes that are there, and just go around taking photos. Think of it as like a stealth game, except, you know, you're not shooting people, you're snapping photos of animals, and occasionally landscapes and collecting other things here and there. And yeah, don't be put off by thinking that it's an easy game, though. It is. It holds your hand for a little bit, and then it kind of slowly, gradually lets go, and then from there on you have to try and make your own way around and just figure stuff out for yourself or from memory. If you have recollections of something being somewhere, then you'll have to go there again, or if you pass by something, then you might have to go there for a future mission. It's one of those games where you really have to immerse yourself in the game and the environment to really appreciate it for what it is. And I did that, and I found it really fun. There's, you know, a couple of other little niggles as well. For starters, the music is corny as hell. Especially like in the first, 10-20 missions, you just keep hearing the same song over and over and over again. That it's like overly adventurous saving the world music. It's funny when they put that in, because it's not exciting at all. You're just driving a car. You know, it's I don't think you want world-saving music to that. But anyways, it is a good game. I personally like it. I'll probably continue playing it for a little while afterwards, because there's still some missions that they give you at the end. But anyway, let us move on to this, which is Portal 2, which is a game by Valve. And this is generally a pretty... It's a pretty fun game. It's not a game that I would recommend for people that don't want to be challenged in games. If you're thinking of turning your mind off looking at the wonderfully simplistic graphics, then you'll be disappointed, because you will have to do a lot of thinking to get by in this game. But basically it continues from where the first one left off, but a couple of bit more than a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, you don't really know, sometime in the future from where the original Portal game finished. So I don't want to spoil the story, but basically you've probably seen from all the trailers and stuff that GLaDOS has returned, and she is a little bit angry. However, there are some other things that happen along the way, which of course come into effect when Wheatley comes in, who is one of the main characters of the game. But anyway, let's get on to the gameplay, because I don't want to spoil a lot. The gameplay is very good, it's very challenging. It kind of does get hard a little bit near the end. Actually, no, kind of from about 2/3 of the way in, it kind of gets pretty hard, because you have to manage the repulsion gel and propulsion gel, which, you know, are two different kinds of gel, and you have to try and use the portals to move them and make it splatter in the right direction, and it does kind of get quite insane when you have to manage, when you have to try and get yourself across a bridge using the repulsion gel, only to find that you have to use it again on another section of it, and you only have 2 portals, so it does give you limits, but it does make you turn your brain on quite a bit. I will be 100% honest, I did find myself activating cheats and no-clipping through a couple of the levels, but that was only because I was tired and I wasn't asked doing them. So this is definitely a game for the thinking person, and of course those who want to have some bragging rights. But yes, this game, when compared to Portal 1, It's good. It's kind of comparable to Portal 1, I guess. I'm looking at it as a completely new game because if they teach you stuff from the get-go, and obviously that implies that they'll assume that you might have no knowledge of it, although they kind of assume that you do as well. But yeah, I think they're trying to cater for both newcomers and people who have who have played the original Portal. I'm getting tired here. So this is definitely a game that I would recommend if you want to turn your brain on for a couple of hours and just solve some simple puzzles. Well, they're not simple. And just solve some puzzles that involve momentum and different materials and all that stuff. So I would I'll just start with the ratings. SSX Tricky, 9 out of 10. Hakuna Matata, 8. And Portal 2, 8.5. And that is the end of today's triathlon of game reviews. Next time I will be doing a triathlon of movie reviews, and these will be in the form of Batman and Robin, Full Metal Jacket, and A Clockwork Orange. So, here's hoping that I get some good rants or some good praise from a lot of these movies. So yeah, that's me done, and I will see you later. Alright, bye.